I became a mom unexpectedly a few short months after my 21st birthday. I like to consider myself a young mom because it is not all too often that 20 some year olds become parents anymore. With that being said, becoming a young mom brought a lot to the table for me. Was I ready to be a mom? In some ways, yes, and others, no. I was quite young and I did not realize or understand the true commitment and meaning behind what it meant to be a mother. I was so in love with my cute little bump. I fantasized over all of the memories my family and I were going to make. I was scared, but even more excited. I saw so much excitement with being a young mom, especially the parts where I could have more energy and how we could grow up together. I replayed the birth of my daughter in my head over and over, being so excited to deliver her naturally, where I could yell at my husband, just like the women do in the movies, "You did this to me," while ripping out his chest hairs. Haha. But that all came to a screeching halt in my third trimester when we learned my daughter was breech. In other words, I would have to have a C-section if she did not flip. I refused to let that happen, so my doctor gave me the option of something called an ECV, external cephalic version, meaning the doctor could manually attempt to turn her from the outside of my belly at 38 weeks pregnant. So up my husband and I went to have this done a week later. After about 30 minutes of rough pushing and pulling, our stubborn baby girl would not turn positions. Her heart rate would drop if we went to the right, and her bum would get stuck in my pelvis if we went to the left. With all of this stress caused me to go into labor. So I was handed the C-section consent forms and headed off to have her cut out of me. Something I never mentally prepared for, something I never thought would happen in my wildest dreams. I felt so sad and distressed that I could not have my fairy tale birth. Fast forward to exactly 3 years later, I was back in labor and delivery at yet again 38 weeks to have our son. This time around, I was quite distressed about this delivery. I wanted a vaginal birth after C-section so badly. Every appointment and ultrasound, I made sure he was head down, and yet again, a vaginal birth came to a screeching halt. This time, it was because my son was measuring over 9 pounds and my water had broken 22 hours without any dilation progress, which put us both at great risk for infections if we did not opt for an immediate C-section. Deja vu, same sadness and distress overwhelmed me. I was not able to have any induction interventions to speed up the labor process due to my previous C-section. My body was just not for a natural birth. So here I am, 18 months from my second C-section, struggling with my body image. Every time I look at myself in the mirror, I am reminded of 2 traumatic births that I cannot seem to move past. I see a scar that resembles the lack of control I had over my children being brought into this world. I'm always told to be grateful that they arrived safely and healthily. And don't get me wrong, I am, but there is still a piece of me that wishes the infamous C-section pooch away and still fantasizes over natural births and blaming my husband. I do my best to remind myself of the reasons behind that scar, and I even named the pooch my kangaroo pooch. Regardless of how they were brought into this world, I could not imagine my life without them. I am extremely proud of my body because of how much my weight fluctuated from 145 pounds to 215 pounds, how it has nourished both of my baby's womb side and earth side. I may not have been able to deliver them the way I had dreamed of, but in return, I was given the gift to exclusively breastfeed both of them.